Cocaine confirmed in the White House. The Biden family apparently have some extra drugs and chemicals floating around the West Wing. Now, I got to admit, when we first heard this come through, I was a little bit curious and skeptical about this. I thought, oh gosh, it's the White House. It has to be the most secure building in the entire world. And everybody's vetted. We know Hunter is a former crackhead, maybe current crackhead, who knows? But there's no way that there were actual cocaine or crack cocaine or any illegal felony drug brought into the West Wing in what might have been a library. Turns out it was. It's actually cocaine, and it's more than that. It's actually a dime bag too, so it's not like some residue. It was a dime bag of cocaine. It's unbelievable. And in fact, others, even on MSNBC, like this woman, call it unfathomable. How could this possibly be true? This story tells us that the Secret Service are now examining how it ended up in the White House. Small amount of white powdery substance was found in the White House on Sunday evening, according to a person familiar with the episode. And an initial test by the emergency responders determined, yep, cocaine. And we're going to listen to that call from the Hazmat Team. Now, at the time, Biden and his family were at Camp David, but there was a brief shutdown of the White House as the Hazmat Team came in and responded. A person familiar with this matter, speaking anonymously, said that the radio dispatch discussing the substance was placed between the District of Columbia Fire and other officials within the department. And this was a question I had. Who found it? Who made the initial call? Who was the initial response? Who's involved in this chain of investigation? And who's going to be a part of this massive cover-up? Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for the Secret Service, said that the substance had been found in a work area of the West Wing. Pretty sure that's where the Biden family works. Yeah, that's where the president goes. And that's another dispatch. And another dispatch said that the library was incorrect. Okay, so there's rumors. Was this in a library or not? Or was it in the library, or was it in the library? In a statement, Guglielmi said the item was sent for further evaluation and investigation into the cause and manner of how it entered the White House, all pending. Didn't confirm or dispute that it was cocaine, and another spokesman for DC Fire declined to comment on the contents, said officials within the department were requested to assist the Secret Service as they conducted the investigation. So in other words, the Secret Service told them, don't talk about this, all right? Just shut your mouths. You're assisting us, and we'll take it from here. So the Secret Service is now in charge and investigating. This is what the actual call sounded like.
Good. Correction record has that we have a result on the demo. We have a yellow bar stating cocaine hydrochloride.
Uh-oh.
Pass number 53-21-4.
All right, well, that's dispatch. Now, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to say that this was Donald Trump's and what he was doing at the White House. I'm wondering if they're going to shift this over to him and blame him in some manner. Now, when that audio came out, we heard them say cocaine hydrochloride. And so we know that if you search for that, you'll see this, well, it's a nasal route, nasal application. It's a nasal solution. And we were thinking, wow, maybe somebody just left their nasal spray out. They got a prescription nasal spray. The medicine's a local anesthetic. Joe Biden's got the sniffles, somebody's got a little bit of a problem, somebody's got some allergies, and somebody dropped the thing and it spilled out all over the place. Okay, that's all right. No, it's actually, in fact, cocaine. And it's not just a cocaine, it is a small dime bag, okay? It's an actual bag of drugs in the White House of cocaine.
The big question, Andrea, is for how long had this item, which was described as a small dime-sized bag, been in this location? Given the regularity, the rigorousness of these reviews, it could have been something that was found rather quickly, which would significantly narrow the universe of individuals who might have been able to bring this in.
All right, it's officially a dime bag. And there were questions about where it was found. And so this came over from the New York Post. They tell us that the substance was found in the West Wing, that it actually attests positive for cocaine. We already heard the clip. Somebody said, okay, we've got the yellow bar stating cocaine hydrochloride. Somebody said, bag it up, take it out. The initial dispatch stated that white powdery substance was found in the residence's library, the initial dispatch call, right? Somebody called in and said, hey, we got this weird white substance. It's the White House. We don't know if it's anthrax or some other chemical agent or what's going on. So they call. They say it's in the residence's library on the ground floor in the residence. However, officials familiar with the incident told the Post that the purported cocaine was found in the holding area in the West Wing that is accessible to both White House staff and guests. Now we're trying to, was this a tour group group, or was this like off limits? DC Fire and EMS did not respond to a request for comment. Biden was at Camp David at the time of the incident, but they returned for the retreat on July 4th. And so you can see here, there's a little bit of a diagram. Here's the West Wing. We don't know exactly where in the West Wing it was. Who has access? While the White House is open for public tours, the West Wing is more controlled, only accessible via personal invitation or connection to a staffer. Still though, more than 4,000 West Wing tours were recorded as having taken place in March. There are a lot of people come through there. The most recent month for which visitor logs are available. So we've got more. It says the West Wing is the heart of the presidency. The Secret Service told the Post, we don't comment on active investigations. Now we're all trying to determine exactly how it got in, and there's some fun memes of what the White House looks like. But when they were there celebrating America, Joe Biden bringing unity to the country, he's out with his family, and they were watching fireworks, and this is what it looked like. And people noticed some interesting other family members in attendance. Joe Biden walks out. Family's walking out. There's the so-called Dr. Jill. Is that Hunter back there? Was Hunter walking around? Wow. So a very normal family back in the White House, return to normalcy. Oh, look, there's Hunter over there. What's Hunter doing? What an American family. Wow. Now, we're having questions about this interesting excerpt from the celebration. We see Hunter here. We know that Hunter, allegedly, is a recovered addict. We know that Joe Biden has passed all sorts of crack cocaine and cocaine laws, including mandatory strike provisions and mandatory sentences and 3 strikes rules and all sorts of things. And so we have questions now about a former crackhead who is allegedly under criminal investigation, who has an open history of using drugs, suddenly is there, and we find a dime bag of cocaine in the White House. And then, just a few short days later, Hunter shows up, and conveniently, his nose happens to be very, very itchy. Did you see it? We see Hunter walking around. Oh, there it is. That's the nose itch. Oh, what's going on there, Hunty? Little sniffles going on there. Or bro's doing lines of coke on July 4th. All right, that's what's happening. Look, let's be clear here, as you can see it. Oh yeah, it wasn't just a scratch. It was like, man, I'm cleaning up. That's just my read on it. I could be wrong. Itchy nose, or, there it was. Well, you'll have to be the judge of that. We don't know what it could be. Could be one or the other. But anyways, the question's abounding because many people are wondering how this could possibly happen. And we're not alone here. We've talked about some of the issues with this. I've got many questions. Are there cameras that we're going to be able to see, or the investigators going to see any of this? Was this somebody in the White House? Was this a White House staffer? Was this a family member? Was this a foreign person? Was this some lobbyist? Was this a guest? Was this a friend? Who knows? But we know that in other parts of this country, possession of cocaine is a criminal offense. I'm sure bringing drugs into the White House is probably not looked upon kindly. So are the cameras going to be there? Are we going to get subpoenas on this? Are they going to start sending subpoenas out? Are they going to raid anybody's houses over this? I actually have questions about who's going to be conducting this entire investigation. Is the Secret Service going to run all of it? Or are they going to bring in the FBI? Or is there going to be an investigation at all? Maybe they already know the answer and they just don't want to talk about it. We already heard about visitors logs, right? There's a lot of evidence that you could get from these materials. And are they going to do drug testing? Or do they do drug testing? Or White House employees, do they even care? Are they even asking or interviewing anybody? Or is this whole thing being swept under the rug? Don't know. But MSNBC and others are shocked about it. We know Biden is supposed to be bringing us back to a normal White House. Nobody was imagining that we'd have topless people running around and new flags hanging from the centerpiece, and now cocaine in the White House.
Turning to some breaking news, we have just learned that a formal lab has confirmed the suspicion that white powdery substance found in the West Wing on Sunday was in fact positive for cocaine.
Cocaine!
The discovery led to a brief evacuation of the White House Sunday night. Joining us now is NBC White House correspondent Mike Memoli. Mike, where do things stand now? This is so unusual. You and I have covered the White House for years. I can't even fathom anything like this having been found before in the West Wing, and I go back to the 70s at the White House. So this is pretty wild.
A lot of coke in the 70s.
It's absolutely
too.
Extraordinary, Andrea. And this new conclusive test confirms what had been the preliminary field test conducted by D.C. fire personnel who were called in on Sunday night after the discovery of this suspicious substance by a uniformed officer in the Secret Service that was conducting a routine patrol of the White House. And so to recap on the developments that we've been reporting on yesterday, this was found, we understand, in a highly trafficked common area of the West Wing. It's an area where individuals, especially visitors, individuals who may be coming for instance, a private tour, might have been asked to leave some of their personal belongings before heading into more sensitive areas of the West Wing, which of course includes the president's, the vice president's office, some of the most senior officials' offices, as well as the press team and a number of deputies.
Yeah, so we'd like to know more about it. We know that if you even post an illegal meme on Twitter, that you'll get convicted by this DOJ. So the question will be, will there be a proper investigation? What will it turn up? It would be incredible if it were Hunter. I'm not so sure that it is. I mean, it would be exactly on the nose. But maybe there are no coincidences. Only time will tell.